Right.
Will there be an inauguration? Will this case be thrown out? Because right now, NASA is out, right? Let's face it. They're out of this.
Right.
So now it's just 2 cases left.
But not out. Eh?
Right.
They said in case we are mentioned,
Yes.
that
Would
we
like to
will-
be in.
We will like to be
And we are.
And there's no way this petition will go
agree.
throughout
I agree.
without
Without
NASA
a
being
mention.
mentioned. And immediately they're mentioned, they will send their team and might be conjoining this.
But for now, it is
They're out.
it's Harun Mwao
Yes.
and the concept of fresh elections and civil society. Gentlemen, without going into the case deeply, is this going to hold water?
Well, like you said, we don't want to run amok into subjudicing the case, but Jeff, I think from what we started seeing yesterday, there was a lot of what you call some of the serious paperwork that we thought would actually tilt the case was thrown out, and it's a good thing that this time round Maraga seems to actually be having things in play. When he said he actually looked at Soweto and the Miss Soweto told her, you know what, first of all, we need to be very candid. Did this material, when you say it wasn't stamped, blah blah blah, around this time, was it done on time? And apart from the fact that you tried to explain, it was still actually that material, though many volumes were actually chucked out.
Yeah.
So as we move along, we want to hear more on the illegalities that they are talking about. I think that is where the case is headed. And when you look at the whole scenario where they say they are talking about the numbers that they feel went through the KIMS and those that didn't go, I personally don't believe that will hold water, because it does not legitimize, or illegitimize rather, the process. If they are able, and I'm talking about the Mwao and the civil society, if they are able to bring their case forward and show still IEBC has not been able to seal all the holes within the electoral machinery, then I think they have a case. And if it goes to finality that IEBC still have a lot of work to do, I think we may see another nullification. But from the way things are seated, I think IEBC, using Mahat, what Mahat explained about that particular system, he did a very good job. In fact, he made the court jolly by the way he explained.
Michael.
And I was asking myself, where were these dude in August?
Michael.
A very difficult case, just as difficult as the one that the ruling was done, for the August the 8th election. The playing field is almost the same. There's not much difference. It's about the credibility. Nobody's disputing the numbers. In fact, that is not being discussed at all. It's about the credibility, the nomination process. Was it done? Was it not done? Was it supposed to have been done or not? What I want to say is that my biggest fear is the composition of the Supreme Court. You have 6. That means if they tie,
If it's a deadlock.
3, it is a deadlock. Uhuru will be sworn in on the 28th, and that's just how it's going to be. So there's a likelihood that Uhuru will be sworn in on the 28th.
But okay, Michael, I'm glad you brought that. I'm sorry to cut you off, because earlier on, Jalas and I were discussing this. Justice Ibrahim, has been out all year.
Of course. Yeah.
And maybe even longer.
Yes.
And we all know he's ill.
Yes.
What's the right thing to do? Resign, right?
Yes.
Resign.
That would have been the best thing for him, because he's not serving this country.
He's not serving the country, let's face it.
The Supreme Court actually handles the most important cases, and especially on electioneering time, only the presidential petition. And that is why they are being paid. In fact, I think the Supreme Court just sits and rests. I know they do a lot of other things, but not as important as a presidential petition. If you can't sit for 2 presidential petitions, you have no reason serving as a Supreme Court judge, in my view. But not to be hard on him.
Right.
If he's genuinely sick, people can be sick and they can come back. But if his ailment is not enabling to do his job, the best thing is to resign. Let me come back to what I was talking about in regards to what happened yesterday. I think the status conference was a huge thing. It was supposed to either invalidate the seriousness of the petitioner or not. But as it is, it was validated that these people have some weighty issues that must be heard by the Supreme Court. And so the hearing is going to start officially today. Now, that's a very good thing for our court system and the justice system of this country, that the court will sit down regardless of who has made that petition. If he has credence, then he will be listened to. But I tell you, as you look at the judges of the respondents, whether it is Uhuru Kenyatta, whether it is IBC, or whether it is the chairman of IBC, you could see some sober mood. It was a discussion devoid of arrogance that we saw in the first petition, in the August the 8th, where, judges of the petitioners, of the respondents were saying, oh, it is dead before arrival, dead. Now, this time round, they're very keen not to use those words because they know it could turn either way. And if that can happen, it has humbled the lawyers, senior lawyers, to a point where they're coming to realize that, when you bring something to this court, it is not the way we look at it.
It's not grandstanding.
No grandstanding. It might be ruled otherwise.
It is not your time to come in with your verboseness. With your verboseness.
What are you talking about?
This is the Supreme Court. Not an English grammar.
The trial conference, really, from what I've seen, it's very hard for them not to allow any case to go full trial, being that you only have 15 days. In other words, so what I saw and what I've seen in the past is that the first thing that the Supreme Court judges want to see is that you have everything in order to allow you actually be able to run on those 14 days. Because let's face it, these guys will be actually sitting sometimes past 8, 9 in the evening. So on the pre-trial conference, we saw even them asking, if you have this information, have you gone through it? Do you know what we expect of you? And these are the times we'll be giving you. We'll be expecting 1, 2, 3. So to me, being a pre-trial conference, they are just wanting to know, do you have
so that they quickly go through it?
It's not about, nullifying and saying it cannot go. There's volumes that have been brought forward, and those volumes, if you look at it, of information, nobody can go through them all that that very quickly. But to mention something that you brought up, which is very critical, Jeff, we need to understand when you've really come to your end of service. Servitude is really not something that we can say we'll continue doing. And I agree when you put that issue of country first. If really you know for sure, everybody knows themselves. Michael can sit here and say, you know what, I think I've come to the end of the road. Jeff, you've come to the end of the road. I cannot perform as I used to, and it's allowed. Sickness, I mean, we can.
It's okay.
It's
normal.
It can hit all of us.
It's normal.
It's a normal occurrence. So he needs to look, just as much as we love this guy. He was a very sober judge, and he continues to be. But you realize, man, I cannot serve my people well.
2 presidential petitions.
Exactly. What do I need
You're
to
not
do?
there.
And you're not there.
Exactly. You're like, you know what?
And you're not even in the country for that reason.
Thank you.
You gracefully allow it.
Yes, tender your resignation.
Exactly.
They'll appoint another justice so that they get 7,
yes.
an
and you know
odd
what,
number.
Jeff, and I can guarantee you, nothing will be taken away from you.
Exactly.
This is somebody who has participated in so many cases.
Jeff, we may not come here and have this discussion perhaps until the ruling is done on Monday. But the question perhaps we need to be asking ourselves, is the ruling going to heal this country? The ruling of the Supreme Court, whether it is for us, the petitioners, or against a petitioner. And I will tell you, absolutely not.
But no court can.
Hold on. What I'm saying, that's what I want to say. What I'm saying is this country is at a crossroad. It is very important that we move forward post the ruling of the Supreme Court that will be done next Monday. That is just a few days. And for that to happen, we need the political class to realize that this country cannot move on with the bickering and the insult and insinuation of derogatory language that is happening every day. Everybody needs to turn down from both aisles of the divide, and they need to turn down and start talking to one another, because if they don't do that, Kenya will burn, and that will not be solved by the Supreme Court verdict. Absolutely not, because Uhuru has a number of people following him. Whether if this petitioner goes against Uhuru, those people will be in the street and they will say, man, we are unhappy with this ruling. And the same will happen if the petitioner is for the validation of President Uhuru election. But how do you bring these people together so that a country can move beyond just a political contest that is breaking this country apart and with discussions of secession? It is only when leaders sit together, not when they meet in church, when they sit together and talk and say, where are we ailing and how can we solve it? That open discussion must be initiated, not when somebody is sworn in as a president, but must be initiated even before. And that's what I believe. There is no time frame for me to go and tell my brother Muduma here, Muduma, I'm having an issue. Perhaps we need to discuss this. Muduma cannot tell me, oh, until I get PhD is when I can talk to you in this matter. We don't go that direction. No. As a country, we need to start talking with one another.
Good point. Good point.
And as much as I agree, I think also as we learn to say we need to come together to agree on the way forward, we also need to be alive to the fact that anytime you go for a presidential race, you'll have a winner and a loser. And the match that we keep talking about, the Supreme Court ruling, how it will come, I take the words of the former Chief Justice Mutunga, who said, it does not matter. When you are actually giving a verdict in such a case, you will have half of the country with you and the rest that's not with you. What must come up, people must understand what democracy is. Look at it this way. The best democracy, or one that has been touted as the best democracy on earth, which is in the United States, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump have never sat down since the election.
And they're unlikely to.
And they are unlikely to. And the country is moving forward. Why? Because you must understand the gives and the takes of a democracy. So Uhuru, yes, he has a job to do, which is to reach out because of our tribal lineage. At the end of the day, he must be seen to reach out to the other side and tell them, you know what, these are the software issues that I must deal with now. I need you to come on board so that we can take this country to the next level. This is what I'm dreaming. This is what I want, where the country, must go. But we must also remain to this, and be alive to this fact, Jeff, that we must be able to support somebody who's probably doing the same thing that you want. Barack Obama told us this, that for you to pray for your president or for your leader to fail, and you live in the same country, really is tantamount to killing or shooting your own foot. So, if I want to build something, and I'm unable to because people do not give me that chance.
Yeah.
But my good friend Michael has been given that chance. The best I can do is to support him. I'll finalize with something that I saw. The world has never seen this, and this is in the business arena, where somebody came to Warren Buffett when he said he was going to give half of his wealth. And true to the fact, he gave second-class shares of Berkshire Hathaway to Bill Gates. And people are like, my friend, why are you giving all that money? Why don't you start your own foundation? He said, hang on a minute. This man is doing what I would want. He's reaching out to the world to take care of illiteracy, disease, and the other things that I've read of what he's doing on the Bill and Melinda. That is what I would like to do. I am supporting him so that he can continue his work. That's the mentality we need to have.
Michael, you get the last word.
This roping from where he's left, I sometimes wonder why we have to draw United States of America as in comparison with a 54-year-old country.
That's where we get all our structures.
Says the guy with the wang.
Correct. So what I'm saying,
the American education
says the American.
Yeah. But it's brought the wang back home at least.
What I'm saying, Jeff, is when we look at the democracy in America, it can't be compared with our democracy.
Sure.
The system there of electioneering system works, and people there are trusted. In fact, Germany, we've just seen Germany. counted manually.
Manually.
And there's even an Olympic. We can't even print our ballot papers in this country.
Works in America.
You know, we can't print our ballot papers because we are fearing somebody's going to... Look, it is until we start trusting our institution, until we start having people with honor and integrity in those offices that will not serve at the whim of the person who is the president that they owe that job to.
Absolutely.
Until they start realizing that constitutionalism and serving the people is far much more than the money that people gives them to, as corrupt initiations to make them look the other way, to avoid the right thing in the electoral system in this country. We will not even be halfway on the democratic system of the United States of America. However, that's where we draw our example.
Yes.
But I think we're far away, and our people have to change the way they think.
Absolutely. Change is gradual. Michael Agwanda, Gabriel Muthuma, thanks so much, gentlemen, for your input. Appreciate it. Buddy. We'll see you soon, and good luck. All the best.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jalash.
All right. Teddy O, we've kind of bled over into your time.
You'll just pay for it.
Join the world of Viewsasa Entertainment and enjoy the videos you love. SMS the word Viewsasa to 40984. Choose your preferred package plan. Select the amount for your chosen package plan, then click Next. Viewsasa, connecting you to the videos you love.
You're now rocking with the best, man.
It's the Hot Breakfast with Jeff and Jelano.